back and check again or something?
Yeah. So we are starting with the live streaming of this session. So anything that you miss out, you can watch on YouTube. So
Okay.
talking about your strategy, you said that you are interested in trading in the indexes. So we would be doing the analysis of the major indexes here in the North American market, especially in the US market. And we do trade in ETFs, which are uh, tracking these indexes. And you would also realize, like, indexes that you used to invest in the Indian market as a low risk instrument, you will find indexes here as well, which would be profitable for you to invest with lower risk and uh, getting better returns in the long run, as well as if you are planning to take swing trades for shorter term to make quicker profits as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so with that reference, we will start with the indexes analysis, which is our normal pattern in these sessions. After covering the indexes, we go on to individual stock requests. If members on the call have any stocks that they are planning to trade in the coming week, or they want to invest for their medium to long term as well. So starting with SPX, which is S&P 500 index, which is the major index where most active traders trade. So starting with the longer term, we'll start the analysis this week from the monthly chart. Uh, as you would notice on the monthly chart, it has been on uptrend since the start of the year and is about to reach the upper Bollinger Band on the monthly chart. The upper Bollinger Band here is at 4,597. The last week it closed close to 4,500. So about 100 points more, close to 90 points more, it could go on the monthly chart. Stochastic RSI and other trend indicators, you would notice that those have reached the overbought region on the monthly chart. However, there is still no reversal sign here. So you can expect this month it could go slightly further up before it faces resistance. Although if you look at the candles here, it is very much close to the resistance level where previously it had closed on the monthly basis close to 4,100. So about uh, this range, although it had previously faced resistance, based on the indicators on the monthly trend, there's still bullishness. Now, if we come on the shorter interval on the weekly chart, it almost touched a small resistance band, which is here close to 45, 45.50. The weekly stochastic RSI has shown bit of drop. Last week, you see it has formed a bullish engulfing, indicating the market bullishness is still intact. You look closer on the daily chart. On the daily chart, it has gone above the upper Bollinger Band. On last session, it closed negative. So on the shorter term, if you are planning to trade this week you could be watchful to see that it corrects for about a week or two based on the last session's closure. Although the yellow line here has not shown reversal, but the blue line has reached the overbought region, and with the overbought condition, it could face some small resistance here. On the daily chart, which means for a very short term, you could see some correction and then taking further up. If you are already on any of the major tech stocks and stocks which are part of S&P 500, you could book your profits and keep small portion for the higher targets. If you have entered about a month ago or 2 months ago, you would be in good profit. So this could be time to book profits on your majority of your positions, as although the weekly and the day and the monthly chart are still showing some upside. In terms of returns, it could be good to book your profits on the majority of your positions and then wait for this small correction to add to those positions and then hold it for the higher targets. Especially this last candle, it indicates that the market could drop. There are almost two gap ups here, which it could close in the coming weeks, depending upon how the earnings, how the reactions on the earnings of the major tech stocks happen. Since the market has been bullish for quite a while, this earnings would be interesting, and most likely we could see some major stocks new earnings report. Being irrespective of the report, market could be quite volatile, and um, positive earnings may not be a factor for the trend for the stock. It would be based on whether the stock is already in overbought region or it is still having some positive upside. Moving on to Nasdaq. Again, looking at Nasdaq as well from the monthly chart. For Nasdaq, the upper Bollinger Band has actually touched the candle of the closing candle. So its upper Bollinger Band was at 15,450, whereas it formed a high this week of 15,720. So for the tech stocks which are listed as part of the Nasdaq and are part of Nasdaq 100, it could be good time to book your profits this week, as you can start expecting on the monthly chart these to show resistance and have a bearish trend from here on. Look at the weekly chart as well. This indicator which I have, it has started clearly showing sell since it is in overbought region. Although the weak resistance channel is above 16,630, close to 1639, it could face a resistance before it reaches the next resistance level. And here the stochastic RSI was flat for some time on the weekly trend. It reversed. It's the last week's green candle which has caused the blue line to curve up. However, the upside isn't that profitable if you are planning to open a new position. So for those who have already been in the tech stocks, it would be a good time to book your profits. And the last candle is showing for time for correction on the shorter term. The chart is very similar to what we saw on SPX. So for short term, especially for those who would be planning to open any position at the start of the week, that is tomorrow, it looks to be a good time to close your long position and start getting on a put or a short trade or an inverse ETF for a very short term. If you are looking at the range, the next support line is here close to 15,275, which would be about 300 points drop. That's the closest support line that we are seeing on the daily chart. If it corrects further, then the mid Bollinger Band range of 15,000 would be the next support level. So let's take a six as well for those who are trading in the Canadian market. For TSX, again on the monthly chart, it is very close to the upper Bollinger Band. The last candle, although this is this month's candle, and since this month has we are in mid of the month and has not ended yet, we can easily expect it to touch the upper Bollinger Band and face resistance around this range, which is close to 20,500. So another 30 points, 300 points, it could go up. And that's clearly visible on the weekly chart. This last week candle, it's a strong bullish engulfing candle. It took a support at this EMA line, which is EMA 100. It took support and is going further up. The resistance band up is around 20,460, and on the upper side 20,760. So it can go another 400 to 500 points up on the weekly trend. If we look at the daily chart.
Kamal, on the weekly chart, I'm looking at a mobile screen, but it looks to me like a triple bottom kind of a pattern being forming. I mean,
So,
with a small screen, I can't really look at it in detail, but that's what it looks to be.
yeah, so if you look,
it looks to be the third. The third one seems to be coming up. So probably after the resistance, there could be an opportunity of a breakout as well if there's momentum.
Yeah, it could be. So because it would be the fourth attempt, 1, 2, 3, and 4. In fourth attempt, it could have a breakout as well. But even if it touches the upper side of the support range, we are looking at close to 500 points up from the current level, so which is still a good opportunity. And since on the monthly chart, it would be, the chart had not loaded. So on the monthly chart, the range here is 21,300, and we are looking at this range for the next resistance, which is around 450 to 500 points. So even if we look at the next support range, that's still a good opportunity. It's a matter of entry, at what point you enter the trade. So right now it's touching the upper Bollinger Band on the daily chart. So good opportunity would be to wait for this small correction, and 20 EMA and 50 and 100 EMA almost about to merge near this support range, which is close to 20,069 or 20,070. So once it shows a small correction on the daily chart, it would be a good to enter around this price range, which is about 200 points drop, and that could be a good entry for taking it to the either the lower support, lower resistance, or the upper resistance level on the which we saw on the weekly chart. So for this week, if you are trading on the TSX stocks, it would be good to watch for small correction, and potentially towards the end of the week, either on Thursday or Friday or next week, it could be around this range, this support range, which would be a good opportunity for entry and taking it for the next target levels or the next list. In terms of the breakout, Gaurav, to your point about breakout, it could give a breakout since this is the fourth attempt, and if you look closely on the lower side, it has been making a higher lows. Low here was 19,159 and here low was 19,400. So market has been pulling up on the lower side, so it could potentially show a breakout as well. But at least at this current price range, it looks to be a good opportunity to watch this week or early next week for entry, and then hold it for its next resistance range.
Right. And then Kamal, just to add over there, the week that just went by, I think there was a Bank of Canada rate increase that was pending. So, they were expecting 25 basis points. It came up at 25. So no big surprise over there. So I think probably the banking sector could likely move up. I don't know. But that would fuel this breakout if it does happen.
Yeah, in fact, that's a very valid point, and we could see the positivity on the bank stocks after the news came out. The bank stocks have gone up this week, and unlike people normal expectation, and since the rate hike was anticipated, it has added positivity in the bank stocks, and you could see most of the Canadian banks, so the corresponding ETFs have gone up this week.
Right.
Gaurav has a couple of requests. So any questions in the indexes that we have covered so far? Okay, so if there are no questions, then we would move on to QQQ. So Shashwat, QQQ is one of the ETF which follows NASDAQ 100. Okay. And if you look at QQQ trend, it's almost similar to what you see on NASDAQ 100, since it follows that index. And let's talk about the price range for taking trades. So for QQQ, as you can see clearly, it's in overbought region. It has formed a gravestone doji candle, which is a clear indication that the market is going to correct for the stocks that are tracked by QQQ. And this forms the major tech stocks. So all the major tech stocks that you see, including Tesla, Apple, Google, Amazon, Microsoft, you can expect a small correction here. From the current price range, the next support range that we are looking for QQQ is at 372. Currently it is at 379. So it's a small $7 drop. However, since there was a gap up here, depending upon the volume of bearish sellout, if it is too faster, it could go further down and try to close this gap, which would bring it closer to this 20 EMA. 20 EMA is currently at 366. Based on the trend, it could go further up and could be closer to 368 or 370, which could be a good opportunity for entering for those who are looking to take a short-term trade. Depending upon the bearish sentiment, would suggest to wait and watch for the clear reversal before entering it. For those who want to open a new position, it looks to be a good opportunity for opening a put position for about 2 weeks expiry. And you could choose a strike price of 370 or 372, depending upon the expiry. And the next support would be at 357. At this point, I think 370 would be a good opportunity for taking trade for this week, for the next week's expiry. Since it has been on long bullish trend, the sentiment would depend upon how strong is the correction. At this stage, you can expect to be a small correction because there is a strong support line here. And you can see next week in terms of further trend. Similar to QQQ, let's touch upon TQQ. So for TQQ, those who are trading in TQQ option, you can look for TQQ put option for strike price of 42. Currently it is at $44. So 42 strike for next week expiry would be better to avoid loss due to the theta decay. And the next strike price would be $40 strike price. Yeah. And check what's the premium price. I think it should be under $1 for these two strike. Vivek or Gaurav, if you could check what's the strike price for 42 and 40 expiry, 40 strike price for TQQ.
For next week, Kamal, or the
Yeah,
week after?
next week.
Next week.
This week's might be under $1.
28.
Yeah. And for this blue line, which is EMA 50, is almost about to merge the lower Bollinger Band, but it could take time. Once the correction happens, this would be strong support around 36.5, 37, but that would be more than 3 weeks to 4 weeks.
Well, if you're looking for 40 put, it's 52 cents trading at.
Okay, that's good. And how about 40
Yeah, 40 is 52 cents.
and 42?
42 is at 1.01.
Okay. 1.1?
1.01.
Vivek, is that the last traded price or is that the ask? Because sometimes there's a gap between the ask and the last traded price as well.
Yeah.
Well, bid and ask is what I'm looking at.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. So I think then you would be able to make an entry under $1 for 42 strike price. And even if you are looking at, so it would be about 20% return by around under $1 and a target price of 1.2. That should easily be achieved. Okay, so now for those who are trading just in the ETF, we look at SQQ. Since TQQ has been on uptrend, making higher highs, SQQ has been making lower lows. From the last candle, it's a dragonfly because we have seen a gravestone doji on the TQQ. So it looks to be a good opportunity here for those who are just trading in ETF. So currently it is at 1755. Even if you buy at the current market price, tomorrow, either in the pre-market or at the start of market, buy at around 1755 for the nearest $1 target 1850, and the next target would be 1950. Since we have seen from past 6 months, the trend has been bullish. So I would suggest to look for only these two near targets, not for the upper Bollinger Band. As these two targets could be realistically. The first target is just $1, but still depending upon your quantity and your total value of the trade, it could be good return. And 19.5 is like $2 on a $17.5 stock. So that would be a good return. On the weekly trend, since the mid Bollinger Band is still downward, so I would still not suggest to look for higher targets, as I mentioned while looking on the day chart. So just about 2 weeks or around 2 weeks trade would be good for SPP. Although if market is strongly bearish and reaching a $1 or $2 for SQQ, we would not take much time. Just look at ATR. Currently, ATR is sitting at close to 0.85. So for $1 target, it could take about 2 days, 2 to 3 days. And the same would be for the next target as well. Any questions for SQQ or TQQ? Vivek, Gaurav, are you good with SQQ and TQQ?
Yeah, Kamal. I think like the whole momentum is more bearish. I mean, I was going over the stock for the last 2 weeks. So just give me a second. I'll just pull this up if you have time. So SQQ, right? So where is my? So I think it would. I mean, even if so, if you see, can I share my screen?
Okay. So, let me stop sharing. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, too many lines. So basically, like this was a floor at some point. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
So 16th June, it formed a bottom here. And after that, this area formed a very good support. I was like drawing lines all that time. It tried to go out of this whole wedge, descending wedge, but it still came back into it. So if the lines are correct, if the trend lines are talking the same, probably because of tweets from Mr. Musk, it might go here 13, 14 and then like bounce back when this is on a daily candle, a daily chart. Or what happened, like even if it tried to break, when it tried to break here, the wedge was like this. It tried to go up, but like it did not sustain that much. So eventually it fell. This is how I'm seeing this chart, but like this is me. And also the DMI is supporting this. Beyond 40 is like very strong. So, and it's like kind of thing. So what I think is like it would go a little bit sideways, eat all the premiums of retailers, and then could fall. It might show a little bit of up, but not much, probably 18.6. I think that next week OA is also around 20, 18.5. That range. So basically like it would eat the premium and it could fall, but unless and until I see a very good uptrend, I still feel the thing is bearish. It would still come down around to 13, or some people are telling under 10, and then like it would move out. But this is my thought about this.
Thanks for your analysis. So you could also change that to the candle to a normal candle and see if you you still see
Yeah, and
the
this
10
is
10
like kind of
indicators.
clear for me. I was like doing that. I can put normal. Yeah, you can still see the trend. It is still, you see, it would try here.
Yeah.
Maximum it would come down to 18.5 and it
That's
might fall. But this again, it's me who is thinking about this because of this momentum. Momentum is driving the whole thing, I feel.
Yes, that's right. So the bearish momentum is driving the price up.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Vivek, just one thing. So, we are looking at the chart of SQQ. So, bearish momentum on an SQQ is essentially positive momentum on NASDAQ.
Exactly.
So
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So we are expecting things on NASDAQ to go up, right? Just wanted to be clear. I was sort of confusing myself. So
Yes.
So what you're saying is you see it going up. NASDAQ as such, right?
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Fair enough. Nice.
So yeah,
But it has gone actually so much up. That's the thing.
yes,
It has gone so much up, but the chart is talking the same. So where do we draw the line? That's the thing.
that's right. So Vivek, if you correlate
Maybe a
this with,
Fibonacci.
yeah, probably yes. And for TQQ, the price range which I'm looking for the bullish trend to take a pause is around $50. Currently, it is at around 44.
Wow.
So,
Really, $4 more. Then this it validates this.
yeah, yeah.
It
Right.
would
So,
go down to 14. I think it would be right.
so yeah. So this is good. Thanks, Vivek, for sharing.
Thank you, man.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay. So, share back my screen. Yeah. All right. So what essentially Vivek was emphasizing is this thin support line, which thin resistance line, which we are seeing here at 18.5. His line is a horizontal line, which is validating this resistance line, and he's suggesting that it could be a strong resistance and may not be able to go further up. So essentially, his suggestion is that you look for the first target itself, not the second target. Right,
Come
Vivek?
again. I want to ask question.
Yes, yes.
Yes,
Right.
this SQQQ, if you want to take a call by, should we take a call by 2 weeks expiry or 3 weeks expiry or 1 week?
3 weeks.
Yeah, 2 to
Don't-
3 weeks expiry. 1 week expiry, your option premium will be very small price, but the uh, time expiry would cost theta decay as well. So it's better to take at least 2 weeks expiry.
Yeah.
So,
And if possible, like take down your profits as soon as you see them.
yes, once you are in profit, you book your profit,
Yeah.
and even if it goes little further up, that's still fine. But it's better to book your profit once your position is in profit, because of the
Theta.
theta decay. You might not get another chance to be in positive.
Okay.
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 Maybe Vivek, if you could check.
Can I
for-
elaborate?
Sorry.
Can I elaborate?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, man, I don't know who asked the question, but I hope you would have attended the options class. Say, for example, if it is 17.55 now, so I would say like take a call for say $18, for example. The moment it is in the money, you take out your profit, and say, for example, you are getting say 10 contracts, for instance. Say you remove of whatsoever, say 7 contracts, and then leave the remaining 3 to run to the first target, what Kamal had suggested, and then get out of the trade. I would say like at that point, I would also buy a put. Got my point, Kamal?
Yeah.
So we should buy the put, not call tomorrow.
No. After taking the profit, after removing of all your calls, then you go for a put. Because like, as I said, the momentum is more towards bearish, right?
Yes.
That could run faster. Am I talking sense, Kamal?
Yeah.
So this is my thought, but this is how I would play when I'm playing with how to secure the profits. Like I would first put if I'm buying 10 contracts, 7 I would remove once it is in profit. The remaining 3 would run.
Okay, sounds good.
And you play like that, Kamal, or differently?
So I close the position and book the profit. and open a new position.
Yeah.
Depending upon what trend I'm seeing based on the analysis that time.
At that time.
Right. Okay, so talking about what strike price, we were discussing about 18.5, and if you look at next week's expiry, which is about 2 weeks from here, it is last price is at 46 cents. So based on weekend, once it opens tomorrow, it could open around 45 cents or lower if it has not gone up in the pre-month. Okay, and you could look for 25 cents profit on this price, which would be almost, it would give you a 50% return.
How about a 3 weeks expiry for the strike price?
Okay, so for the same strike price, if you're looking at 3 weeks expiry, it would be 4th August, and last premium price is 61 cents. Okay, so we are buying around 60 cents. Again, keep 25 cents as your target. If you keep more than $1, it may not reach, because you will notice even if it reaches $18, it could face resistance around 95 cents or $1 before $1. Okay.
Okay.
So even if you make about 20 cents return, it's like 33% profit on this premium price, right? So just keep your target set. Whenever it reaches, you can close your position, and then with your cash, you can open a new position. All right. Okay. Great. So with that, we'll move on to some of the requests that I see in the chat from Gaurav. You have requested for SLF. And I will take the one on PSX. Okay. So Gaurav, it seems to be a very good peak. Looking at the daily chart, it has had a reversal last week. Support range was around 66.33, and it made a low of 66.53. So almost it was close to the support before it reversed on the daily chart. So if you have entered, it's great. If you are looking to enter,
Yeah, I'm in at 67.37.
Okay, so that's good. So I was about to say that if you haven't entered, then you could look for entry at the mid Bollinger price of 67.40. Since you have entered at 67.33, which is even a better entry price. So that's nice. And looking at the reversal, it really looks to be a good entry. So are you looking for the target price?
Yeah, I'm just looking for target prices because, my target is more really the peak that we see. So typically I set my target 10 cents below the peak. That's how I look at it. But any recommendations would be helpful.
Yeah, so I usually go with the upper Bollinger Band because at times it happens the previous peak, it may not be able to reach unless it is going, it forms a higher high. Right. So in this case, looking at the weekly chart, although the upper Bollinger Band is close to 69.99, which is like $70. So you could still aim for the high the previous high which it formed on 30th of June. But if you want to play conservative, the upper Bollinger Band range here at 68.83, you could keep a target of 68.80 or 68.85, which would be about 30 cents lower than the price that you are looking. But it would be a safer target, as you can expect it to touch the upper Bollinger Band. And especially in SLF case, I'm seeing based on the chart setting that I have, it touches the upper Bollinger Band when it forms a high. This price.
Right. And Kamal, also in general, if we look at this, if I look at all your the top red blocks that you have for sell, they all indicate, it looks like a trend line.
Yes.
The upper trend line.
Upper.
So that could also give a good trailer target that after partially booking at the target price, not a bad ploy to go for that.
Yes. So you can actually book your profit on 80% of your position, and you could keep 20% for the higher target, close to 69.90. As I was seeing on the weekly chart, it is at 69.99. You can keep your target at 69.90. About 9 cents.
Yeah, makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
So thanks for sharing. This looks to be a very good stock that you have filtered and anchored. So that's good to see. Next is NPI.
Yeah. So NPI is a slightly different one. This is seemingly on a downtrend, but I see. So in the last 2-3 candles where there seems to be a reversal, I'm in at 26.66 on this one, and looking for a quick target, quick short target on this one because this has a general downtrend. But yeah, just any help I can get on this would be appreciated.
Yeah, sure. So while you were talking, I just looked at this chart on monthly trend, on the monthly interval. So it has gone below the 100 EMA, and the max you can expect it to go up is till 27.34, as it could face resistance again at that price range. Since it has been on long downtrend, currently its mid Bollinger Band is 27.30, 27.17, 27.66 here. So I would still suggest to book a quick profit and exit from this. Around here is 26.65. Since it faced, the only positive hope would be if it breaks this mid Bollinger Band, then you could look for when the high of this was 27.70. It would be, on that case, you could hold it. Otherwise, if you see it facing strong resistance around the mid Bollinger Band here, you can actually close with a small profit.
Yeah, I was primarily looking at not a very large profit on this one. My target was essentially close to 27.20 or something like that. Because of the small reversal and the MACD. So those are two things, and I thought not a bad one for a quick profit and then move out.
Yes, absolutely. So just no relationship with this stock. Just book your small profit and then move on.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, and Kamal, before you go to the other request, I also wanted to call out that last time when we met, I think we discussed INFI, and I have hit both my targets on INFI. So I am out of INFI now, and I also had another position with. So sorry, it just vanished out. Yeah, I had another position with TOU, Tourmaline Oil,
Mhm.
and I hit the first target, liquidated 50% of my position, and it's already in a breakout mode. So tracking for the subsequent targets now. So yeah, things working well basis our discussions last time.
That's awesome. Congratulations and thanks for bringing those up. Glad that you are able to book your profits based on the target levels that we have discussed during the session. Thanks.
Kamalji, can you share the NVDA chart?
NVDA.
Yes.
Okay. So, Garv, are you okay with SLF and NPI? Can we go on to NVDA?
Yep, Kamal, all good from me. Thanks.
Oh, awesome. Great. Let's go on to NVIDIA. All right. So, NVIDIA. So, NVIDIA, see if you look closely here, and I'm zooming in for you. So, the upper Bollinger Band here was at 482.91. Okay, and it formed a high of 480.88, and you would notice why we suggest booking your profit about 10 cents lower. So it has reversed from here and this we are looking on the weekly chart. Let's see on the daily chart. On the daily chart, it has faced resistance and it has closed lower on the last session. So this is a clear indication of drop. What we saw on Nasdaq QQQ charts, you can notice the correlation for NVDA as well. So at the start of the week, if you are looking to take a option trade for this stock, you should be choosing put option, and your strike price could be 439 strike. You could choose expiry of about 2 to 3 weeks. Okay. And if you want to look for next strike price, the next strike price should be around 422.5. Okay.
Yesterday it was gone to 480.
Yes, it had reached 480.88, and in the last session it has reversed because it was in overbought region. The profit booking has happening, so you can expect a small correction. There is a support line here close to 438, which could be your first strike price to choose. Okay. So that would be about $16 drop from the current price. And then again bring APR. Yeah, its ATR is $15. So it could take one to 2 days to hit this strike price. Okay.
Okay.
And as Vivek mentioned some time back, once you hit your profit first time, you book your profit. You can close your position immediately and then take another one for the depending upon the trend that time. All right. So I was considering that you will be taking an option trade. Are you also planning to take just NVIDIA stock trade?
NVIDIA stop.
You will be taking option trade, right?
Yes, yes. Put.
Yes. Okay, good. So yeah, you can take this put and please check what would be the premium price for that.
It's almost $6.
Okay. So that's 438, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so we have 437. So the last price is around $2. So this is for 2 weeks expiry. Okay.
$4.
Uh, it's showing last price is 8.25
Yes.
for 437.54.
Okay.
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 All right.
Okay.
Okay. So moving next to Vivek, your request for tellers.
Just before you start on that, Kamal, I also wanted to say tell us, but I knew for sure Vivek is going to come up with tell us. So Vivek, this one is for you.
Thanks. But
Great.
tell us NYSE, man. That is updated chart,
Okay.
not TSX. TU is the ticker symbol.
This one, right?
TU,
AT&T.
that's AT&T. No, the TU is the ticker symbol. Symbol is TU. Yeah, Telus Corporation, second one.
Okay.
So if you put it in 4-hour chart,
Mhm. So you would have seen further update on the
yeah, there is
in
that.
the post market.
Yeah.
So my indicator is giving a strong buy.
Yep.
Along with the label, there's so on the 4-hour chart and on daily chart as well. Looking which support it has reached. Okay. Okay. So on the monthly chart, however, the 100 EMA is even further down at 1636. Are you planning to enter this for quick trade or for holding for some time?
No quick trade.
Okay. We are looking for a quick trade, and I think we both are looking for a good opportunity here.
Yes.
So there's a support line here at 1822.
Mhm.
Okay. Currently it is at 1837. So in tomorrow's session, you can now itself keep a buy order at 1825.
Mhm.
If in tomorrow's session, if it doesn't reach and it forms a green candle, you can enter even under 1860.
Okay.
Okay.
Mhm.
For your
19.
19 as your target.
Perfect.
Okay.
Yep.
Gaurav, does that align with you? Are you planning to enter as well?
No, I was not planning to enter this one. I've just been keeping an eye on it. I know Vivek has been, I think it was either Vivek or Devinder, they've been mentioning this stock for a long time. That's a good long-term stock. So I just keep an eye on it. And with a lot of things happening yesterday, I was expecting this to come up today.
Yeah, I think like it will go further down.
Yes.
But like this quick trade is what I was looking at. But I feel like it would go further down.
Yeah, especially on the monthly chart, it has gone below this 100 EMA, sorry,
Mhm.
50 EMA, and is going towards the 100 EMA. Even the lower Bollinger Band has curved down. So for the long term, it would be better to wait for it to drop under 1650.
Yep.
But for a quick trade, yes, you can enter a trade and just take a 50 cents or $1 profit and then. Okay.
Perfect.
Next is HDBAC. Home Depot, US.
Yes. Yeah. Basically, it trades on both.
So are you looking for TSX or NYC?
I am looking for actually TSX, but like analysis is good here actually.
Okay. All right. So look at weekly chart. It has gone within the resistance band. So have you entered or are you planning?
I'm looking at it. I have not entered.
Okay, then I think you should wait for it to correct because on the high it made a high of 321 and the band here is close to 322.5. So it is already in the overbought region.
Mhm.
I would suggest to wait for it to correct. And since we are expecting small correction on the indexes as well, Nasdaq and SPX, it's expected to drop as well. So support range here is 305 to 309. So you should wait for at least $7 to $10 of drop before entering this. And a good entry would be around 300. Here
Okay.
on the daily chart, the 100 EMA is close to 299. Around 300 would be the price. Okay.
Sure. Sure.
So you can keep this in watch list for now. Okay, moving next to the Boeing company or
No, it's actually Bank of India. This also trades in both. So I'm still looking at it.
All right. So this one is a better opportunity compared to previous stock, considering from the returns perspective.
Mhm.
So last drop was a strong bearish engulfing, almost closed this gap as well. It could take support at this 50 EMA, which is 2877, and the mid Bollinger Band is at 2887. Since it is bearish, again this one as well you keep in watch list, but this one could give you entry sooner.
Okay.
Look for entry around 2833.
Mhm.
Or if you see it is taking support close to 2877, 2880, you can enter at that price as well. And so it already reached the previous support or the previous resistance band here, and high it had formed of $30. But still it has on the weekly trend, it has momentum for going further up as well. So You can keep in your watch list and take small position around this price. If it drops further around 2770, which is like your lower Bollinger Band 2780,
Mhm.
you can increase your position and hold it for target above 30, because it had touched 30 previously. And looking at its lower highs, if it takes support around this price and goes up, you can easily expect on the weekly trend to go further up, since it seems to be a range where it has kind of taken support to reverse from here.
Okay.
Although for this, if you want to keep it for short-term trade, you can still take as a narrow band for your short-term trade. Entry around 28.
It's gonna be bearish month for some time. So I think like I would wait.
Uh, if you are looking for a short-term trade, that's still fine. If you enter near the
But
either the mid Bollinger Band, slightly lower than the mid Bollinger Band,
Mhm.
for target close to 2950. So keep a range of about $1 profit for a short-term trade. That should be possible. Has a ATR of 65 cents.
Okay.
So watch this week. If it doesn't take support here, and the next support which you could look would be around 2830.
Mhm.
You can take some quantity position entry, and if it drops to the lower Bollinger Band, you can increase your position and hold it for the target near upper Bollinger Band, which should still give you about 1.5 to $2 profit.
Sure, man. Thanks.
And if you want to hold it for slightly longer term, then the next target that you could look is 31.4, which is 50 on the weekly chart. Since the lower Bollinger Band has curved up, the upper trend looks possible. But that once you enter here, then you can decide how long you would like to take. Okay.
Okay.
Great. So I think I have covered the request in the chat. Any last request from anyone?
Kamalji, Tesla, did you finish tomorrow?
Tesla we didn't take, but let's cover Tesla. Vivek sir has shared his analysis in the group, and this week Tesla has earnings, so can definitely expect a lot of volatility with Tesla. So Tesla last week it has formed a high of 285.30, and its upper resistance range is from 295 to 300, 303.4. Since it has earnings on 19th, which is Wednesday, even though it is in the overbought region, it could touch this range, and that would be good opportunity to take a put trade. However, in terms of risk, I would suggest if you are playing just before the earnings release, please buy small contracts so that if it goes on the other side, you don't lose much. For opening a Tesla option trade, either you enter at on the day of earnings or after, I would still suggest opening this small quantity. More safer approach would be opening the trade on Thursday after its earnings is out. Okay. Wednesday it would be most likely in the post market. So you can open your portion after the earnings is out on Thursday. From the technical aspects, it is currently in almost in the overbought region, but since it has resistance further up in the 2 to 3 days run until the earnings release, you can expect it to go further close to 300 or even above 300. You are trying to buy a call option, I believe the premium might be higher unless you want to take a risk at this price range. It could have a breakout on the daily chart to reach the resistance range that we discussed. On the daily chart, in fact, it is showing a resistance line at 310, so which is another $18 jump. And since Tesla has a close to $10 ATR, it could reach in 2 to 3 days. But if you are looking for my recommendation, I would suggest to wait for its earnings to be out. If it goes around 300 or above 300, then you can take a put position so that once it drops, it is expected to have a correction on the weekly chart. You could benefit from the correction after the earnings. Vivek or Gaurav, do you have any different recommendation?
No, man. I would feel like if it's gonna go to 300, that's awesome.
None from me either. I stay away from Tesla.
So it's expected to be volatile this week because of the earnings. So if you are willing to take risk, then only take a trade before the earnings. Otherwise, it's more safer, and in terms of the technicals, it's more clearer. If by earnings, if it is around 300, slightly over 300, it's a good opportunity to open up a trade. But again, keep your expiry at least 2 weeks away. 2 to 3 weeks expiry would be good. And if it reaches 300, your strike price could be close to current price, 280, which would be your support that time. Support.
If the reaches above 300, then we have to buy the put.
Yes, if it is above 300, then you buy put. Put for 280, or the next strike price that you could choose would be 260.
2 weeks expiry date.
Yes, at least 2 weeks expiry.
Okay.
Okay. Fine.
Okay.
Great. Okay, so I think with that, we have covered most of the requests, and we'll stop sharing here. So that will pause here for our analysis session this week. I hope this analysis helps everyone. And for those who are planning to take trade this week and you haven't decided on what trend to follow, you can expect this week to be slightly more volatile. Since there are earnings for some of the stocks, the volatility could be higher. More major indexes looks in the overbought region on the daily trend. So look for opportunity for buying a put option for quick trades. If you are looking for medium to longer term, then it would be better to wait for the correction to happen before you enter the trade. So with that, thanks Shashwat for your feedback, and Gaurav, Vivek, and Umer for your contributions. I wish you all a profitable week and see you all in the next analysis session next week. Thank you and hope you all have a good remaining weekend.
Thanks, Kamal. Thanks, everyone.